Hello, welcome to a very casual edition of TBR Bakery. If you've never seen one of these videos before, TBR Bakery is the TBR game that I play every month to pick. I feel like we should just call it a pile of possibilities at this point, because do I read the books that I pick? Usually not. Well, at the very least, I never read all of them, it would seem, but we're gonna play today and we're gonna pick some books to read in June. So a couple of housekeeping things before we get started with June's game. I do have, like the past couple of months, I've forgotten to talk about Adventure in Eldia, the kind of like year-long game that goes along with Magical Readathon, and I, for this month, have to pick a book over 500 pages just because of the path that I have taken. So that's the one thing that I need to try to get on the TBR is a book over 500 pages, which should not be too hard, let's just say, because there's a lot of fantasy books, chunky fantasy books that I've started and have not finished yet. So I think, that being said, this month's game is going to revolve around finishing books that I've started. So if you regularly watch this game, a lot of the titles that I'm hopefully going to get on the TBR, hopefully I will be able to get a lot of books that I've started and have not finished onto this TBR, including one over 500 pages. So that being said, let's go over how I did in May. I had Dying of the Light for a low rating, and remember in May I was trying to read library books and books from my husband's shelves, which are these ones over here. So I had Dying of the Light by George R.R. Martin from my husband's shelf for a book with a low rating. I didn't even start this one. I have Valor by John Gwynne for a recent purchase. I have started this one, made a little bit of progress, not a whole lot, but it is going to be rolling over, let's say. I have the Dark Elf Trilogy by R.A. Salvatore, specifically Homeland, which is the first book in the trilogy, and that was for a husband free-for-all pick, and I am happy to report that by the time this video goes up, I will be finished with the first story in here. I have less than 100 pages left, and I'm honestly planning on just like binge reading it today, so it won't even take me until the end of the month to finish, because that is my plans for the day, basically, after I finish filming this video. I had a random number pick, which got me The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. Again, I have started this. I am going to roll it over and continue reading it. Sorry, these books aren't even in frame. They're getting a little heavy. And finally, if you watched my May TBR, you might see something in this stack that was not in that video. And that is because one of you guys gave me no breaks and was just like, hey, because of the punishment you got for the random number prompt, you have to pick another book. So I rolled again after I had posted the video, obviously, because it was a comment on the video. I rolled again. I used the same stack of books. I got a 7, and that was The Courting of Bristol Keats, which I have also started but have not finished. This one I'm listening to on audio. I was able to get the audio from my library as well, so I'm doing a little bit of like an immersion experience with that one. So out of this stack, I started 4 out of 5. I did not finish any of them. Hopefully we will be able to roll some of them onto the TBR for this month. Hopefully the rolls are in my favor, but we shall see. That being said, there is still one book that I didn't even touch, so we are going to pull up my TBR pile of shame wheel and give it a spin to see what other book I'm going to be hoping to fit into the rolls, but if I can't fit it into the rolls, it's just an additional book that I have to read. So let me get you on screen record here. Me being prepared, what's that? Okay, volume up and let's spin the wheel. What? Okay, well, that's hilarious because, like, before I started filming this video, I did what I always do, and I took off the books that I have read and I put on the books from the past TBR that I have not read. And the one book that made me spin the wheel is the one book that ended up coming up on the wheel. So if at all possible, I can fit this into the prompts, I have to fit it into the, well, I want to fit it into the prompts because otherwise it's just an additional book that I have to read. So I think that's all the housekeeping. So let's get into the game. Let's get started with rule number 1 is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get a cake slice. Roll a d8. Even move forward, odd move back. All right, hopefully we get an even or this game is off to an interesting start already. Okay, I have my d8. Let's see what we get. Oh, nice. Okay, I take back everything I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we get a coffee break. Okay, so roll 1 got us a cake slice, which got us a gameplay card, and we ended up moving an additional 8 spaces forward to a coffee break. So perfect. I love this. So far, so good. Okay, roll 2. Oh, is a 1. Okay, so we have a cupcake. And it is outside of comfort zone. Okay. So for this one, I'm gonna read a library book that I have. It is called All the Water in the World by Irene Caffel. I don't know much about this. I actually got it from the library because I was watching a video from Leandra the TBR 0 and she was talking about this book. It sounded interesting the way she was describing it. And then I just happened to go to the library later that day and I saw this book and I was like, ooh, so this is totally like I got this, I checked this out because of BookTube type of thing. But it seems like it's gonna be like a climate fiction / thriller type deal. And it says, in the years after the glaciers melt, Noni, her older sister, her parents, and their researcher friends have stayed behind in the almost deserted New York City, creating a settlement on the roof of the American Museum of Natural History. The rule, take from the exhibits only when in dire need. They hunt and grow their food in Central Park as they work to save the collections of human history and science. When a superstorm breaches the city's flood walls, Noni and her family must escape north on the Hudson. They carry with them a book that holds their records of the lost collection. Racing on the swollen river towards what may be safety, they encounter communities that have adapted in very different and sometimes frightening ways to the new reality. But they are determined to find a way to make a new world that honors all they've saved. Inspired by the stories of the curators in Iraq and Leningrad who work to protect their collections from war, All the Water in the World is both a meditation on what we saved from collapse and an adventure story with danger, storms, and the fight for survival. In the spirit of From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler and Parable of the Sower, this wild journey offers the hope that what matters most, love and work, community and knowledge, will survive. So I was actually gonna say this gives me strong like Parable of the Sower and like Dry by Neil Shusterman vibes. Parable of the Sower is by Octavia E. Butler. But it gives me that like that feeling of like one misstep and this could be reality kind of feeling that I got when I read both of those books. In that it's not necessarily like a horror novel or necessarily super thrillery, except in the fact that when I was reading those books, I was very much so living in some sort of like existential dread, like this could literally happen tomorrow. Like one natural disaster away from this book being reality. That's kind of the vibe that I get from this. And also considering it says that it's based on or inspired by stories of the curators in Iraq and Leningrad who worked to protect their collections from war. Yeah, strong Parable of the Sower, Dry vibes coming from this for me. And I'm excited about it. It sounds really good, but it is out of my comfort zone because I don't read a ton of those books. Like those are probably the only 2 books that I've read that are kind of like that. And it's definitely not part of like my normal reading repertoire. So yeah. This is the book that I'm going to pick for Out of Comfort Zone. Okay, let's get into roll number 3. A 2. We are moving, well, let's just not say anything. It's a cake, a TBR vet. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is perfect because it is not only a TBR vet, it is a book that I have started and have not finished and want to continue reading. So the fact that I can get it on this TBR is perfect, and that is Valor by John Gwynne. If you've been around for a while, you know why this is a TBR vet. Basically, this entire series is a TBR vet for me. So I will be continuing on with Valor, which is the second book in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. It is a kind of like Norse-inspired fantasy, complete with dragons, giants, and a good versus evil kind of plot. So I am super excited that this can fit on here. Okay, roll 4. Are you serious? Things were going so well. No, okay. We hit the burnt batch. If you've been around, you know what that means. That means we burned the entire order. The entire order got destroyed, and we have to start all over from the beginning. Okay, well, let me get my jar. I actually don't even remember what we decided as a community about the burnt batch spot, but I'm just gonna pick a book from my physical TBR jar. Okay, so this is the jar that I use for Simplify the Stacks. It has not been updated with all of the books that I recently hauled. But it's basically every physical book that I own, minus the new ones. And they are color coordinated. I don't remember what the colors are. I do have a paper, but it doesn't really matter. So let's just pick one and see what we're adding to the TBR. And this can't be slotted in for any prompts. This is just an extra book. So let's go with this one. Is this one? Yes. I believe blue is fantasy, even though I just said that I don't know what the colors are. I feel like that's right. Okay, so Destiny is book 3 in a series, so we're just gonna pull again. I could read the first book in the series, I guess, but let's just try to get something else. Tell me what you think. Should I pick another one, or should I just stick with Destiny? Like, Rhapsody is the first book in that series. So let's try this one, and then you can tell me which one I should read in the comments. Tell me what you think is fair. If I should just read the first book in this series, or 19 minutes. Oh, okay, but I want to read 19 minutes because this is once again a book that I have started and like didn't finish. So this fits the theme perfectly. I feel like this is fate. So for now, I'm going to put this on here because it fits the vibe of the video. But if you think I should read Rhapsody instead, let me know. But I'm probably just going to read this. Okay, so that could have been worse. Well, I say that, but we're back at the beginning, so it kind of is worse. All right, let's see if we can try to avoid that happening again. Starting from the beginning. Great. Okay, and a 2, so we have 1, 2. It's a cupcake. This or that, higher or lower with a D20. Okay, great. Okay, so for this, I picked 2 books. Obviously, I want to read them, but one of them would be worse than the other. So that's obviously going to be the lower option, and that is Open and Shut by David Rosenfeld. I have this out of the library, so ideally I would like to read it. It's short, so it wouldn't be terrible if I got this one, but it doesn't fit the goal of this video, which is to finish books that I've already started. So this is the lower option, although I still do want to read it, and it would, again, be short. The higher option, the one that I would prefer, is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri because it fits the goal of the video. It's a book that I've started that I want to finish, and I'm excited to read it. Like, I am enjoying this book. I just started too many things at once. So this is the higher, Open and Shut is the lower. Let's see what happens. Okay, hopefully you can see everything. So our first number is 18. Oh, I think it's gonna be lower, so I'm probably gonna be reading this if I had to guess. Let's see. 8. Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. So the die has spoken and we will be adding open and shut to the TBR. Again, not the worst thing in the world. It's short. I want to read it. It's a library book. I want to get it read before it goes back. Just not on plan for the month. But I picked this up because it sounds cute. It sounds like a, not necessarily a cozy mystery series, but it sounds like a mystery type of series where the main character solves mysteries with his dog. I think it's a golden retriever. So that sounds cute. I'm a dog person. So, you know, how could I turn that down? So just to recap, we are on the second real space of the board and I already have 5 books on my TBR, so love that. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, another coffee break. So let's go into our next roll. A 2. 1, 2. We have another cupcake. And it is a new to me author. I can do that. Okay, great. So we got a coffee break and then we got a cupcake, which was a new to me author. Listen, I've heard a lot of stuff going around about this book. I don't normally pay attention to like book drama, author drama, that kind of stuff, unless it's something like blatantly obvious, like, you know, She Who Must Not Be Named on my channel at least. I try not to get into it. Like, I like to be informed, but I don't go out of my way seeking the drama and the tea. But this happened across my YouTube feed, and I'm just gonna say, if this book was written by Colleen Hoover, I'm gonna be pissed. But I do want to read it, and as far as I know, it's a new to me author. So I'm going to pick Silver Elite by Dani Francis. I don't know if this book was written by AI or Colleen Hoover or what, but Dani Francis is a new to me author, and I do want to read this book. Initially, I heard good things, but now I'm hearing kind of mixed reviews, i.e., was this written by AI? Because it just sounds like, you know, somebody input a bunch of fantasy whatever and it spit this out. I don't know. If you do know, let me know. But for now, I want to read this. I am interested to see what it's all about. I did pay an extra $2.99 for this nice Book of the Month edition, so I'm going to see what it's all about. So what I know about this book is we are following our main character, Ren Darlington, who is a mod, and a mod is someone who just has some sort of like magical powers, and if they are found, they are killed. And she kind of infiltrates the, I feel like the army or something, to either get information from the inside or destroy it from the inside. I'm not really sure, but it sounds interesting. It is a romance. I don't know. I think it's considered dystopian romance. I'm interested. We're gonna see if it's as bad as people have been saying recently. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to crack the code and know for definitively if this is written by AI or not, because I am so smart. So smart. Get into roll number 8. Ah, a 1. We're moving so fast. And it's a fish cupcake. All right, great. How many spots are we moving backwards? Because the fish cupcake means that you have a contaminated batch and you have to restart that batch. So we have to move backwards 2 spots. At least that's not too bad. 1, 2, and we have a donut. Ooh, a cozy mystery. All right. Okay, so I had a look at what I have on my lists and such for cozy mysteries, and I think for this one I'm going to read If You've Got It Haunted, which I can get through Libby. Looks like that. And it says, when a Southern vintage fashionista meets a ghostly socialite, she goes rummaging for clues to catch a killer in this cozy mystery series debut. Cookie Chanel has opened her own vintage clothing boutique in the charming town of Sugar Creek, Georgia. I mean, I guess it is a southern town. Always on the lookout for stylish secondhand steals, she attends the estate sale of deceased socialite Charlotte Meadows. But she gets a lot more than she bargained for when Charlotte's ghost appears before her, offering fashion advice and begging Cookie to find out who murdered her. All right, interesting. We'll do that. Let's borrow it right now. All right, great. Moving on. Let's go for roll 9. A 3. 1, 2, 3, another cake. Random number physical TBR. Okay, so I have a completely unupdated list of my physical TBR. I think the last time I updated it was maybe March of 2024, it looks like, possibly. But we're just gonna go with it because it's the only list I have. I need to either take this prompt out or find a better way of doing it. But my physical TBR is line 12 to line 167. So I'm gonna put that into a random number generator. Let me record my screen. It'll be here. Okay, so I have to change this to 12 and change this to, what did I say, 167? And then we will generate 49. Okay. Okay, so let's go scroll through this to number 49. In a treacherous court. I think I have that up here. I do, good. I didn't have to go too far for it. Yeah, that wasn't even the right author. I don't know what's up with that list, but this is In a Treacherous Court by Michelle Diener. Basically, it was a cover buy because I thought this dress was really pretty. So, you know, and I bought it a long time ago too. I got it at Savers. So it says, an unconventional woman, a deadly enemy, a clash of intrigue, deception, and desire. So it looks like historical fiction. It says 1525, artist Susanna Horenbout is sent from Belgium to be Henry VIII's personal illuminator inside the royal palace. But her new homeland greets her with an attempt on her life, and the king's most lethal courtier, John Parker, is charged with keeping her safe. Oh, that was the name of the series or whatever, not the author. As further attacks are made, Susanna and Parker realize that she unknowingly carries the key to a bloody plot against the throne. For while Richard de la Pole amasses troops in France for a Yorkist invasion, a traitor prepares to trample the kingdom from within. Okay. Maybe a little bit of romance. Definitely historical. Interesting. Not, again, working towards the goal of this video, but I will take it. All right, I said it was going to be a pile of possibilities, and this is really turning into a pile of possibilities. Because there's no way I'm reading all these books. All right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A donut. Move forward 3 spaces. Yes, I love that. Okay. Oh no! Oh. 1, 2, 3. Is this actually happening? Like, is this actually happening? Because when was the last time I even hit the burnt batch spot, let alone twice in one game? Like, how? I'm already on roll 10. I'm annoyed. I'm like actually legitimately annoyed right now. Okay, well, let's grab another book. Add another book to the TBR that's already out of control. Yellow. I don't remember what yellow is. Okay. You can see it first. That looks upside down. Old Man's War. Oh, okay. Must be sci-fi then. And that I have right here. So that is helpful. I have heard good things about John Scalzi. I hear he is funny, like, but in a good way. And I'm excited to try this. I got this in a mystery box, like a mystery book box that I got from eBay. I made a video. I will link it up there. It is very old, so, you know, be gentle if you watch it. But yeah, I heard he's funny. I don't know. It says John Perry did 2 things on his 75th birthday. Ah, hence the Old Man's War. First he visited his wife's grave, then he joined the army. The good news is that humanity finally made it to the stars. The bad news is that out there, planets fit to live on are scarce, and alien races willing to fight us for them are common. So we fight. Far from Earth, the war has been going on for decades, brutal, bloody, and unyielding. Earth itself is a backwater. The bulk of our resources are in the hands of the colonial defense forces, and everybody knows that when you reach retirement age, you can join up. The CDF doesn't want young people. They want people who carry the knowledge and skills of decades of living. You'll be taken off Earth, never to return. You'll serve 2 years in combat, and if you survive, you'll be given a homestead of your own on one of our hard-won planets. John Perry is taking that deal. He thinks he knows what to expect, but the actual fight, light years from home, is far, far harder than he can imagine, and what he will become is far stranger. Interesting. I'm legitimately excited to check out John Scalzi. I'm just not excited to add it to this TBR. But okay, let's move on. Okay, so once again, we destroyed the batch. I think somebody's getting fired today. They are not doing their job very well. And let's go for roll number 11. And it's a 2 again. We have been here before. It is a cupcake. 100 book bucket list challenge. Okay. So the 100 book bucket list challenge is actually like a poster. It's like a scratch off poster that my sister-in-law got me for Christmas years ago at this point. I hung it on my wall. I started a series on my channel about it, and then I just never did anything with it. The poster is still hanging on the wall. I still have not scratched off any of the books, but there's 100 of them to choose from, and I'm sure I can find something that I want to read. So I'm going to take you over there and we're going to figure out what's on there and what I want to read. Okay, so here is the 100 books bucket list, and all of those squares are books. So let's see what we have. We will probably never be reading that, just because I've already read that. Is there anything that I want to read? I don't know if this is focusing for you to like see the titles, but I think I'm going to read Norwegian Wood. I already unhauled that. So, you know, I don't know how they picked these books, but, you know. I think I'm going to pick I already read The Handmaid's Tale. Oh, Winnie the Pooh. I don't actually like remember what's on here. It's hanging right above my desk, but I just don't look at it that often. Oh, okay. We're gonna read this. Okay, so while Dracula is not a book that I actively started, it was on a TBR recently, so I do want to get to it. So that's what I'm going to choose for this one. Which, speaking of Dracula, one of you guys just told me that you have like a special edition of Dracula that's in a coffin that has like actual dirt from a cemetery or something, and I think that's just like the funkiest thing ever. I love it. But yeah, that's what I'll be reading for that, and let's get into roll number 12. Okay, can we get some big numbers, please? I would really, really appreciate that. Seriously? A donut. It is author Sarah. Okay, this is good. This works. Okay, so we got a donut. It is author Sarah. For obvious reasons, I have this prompt. And for this, I am going to finish Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. I started this quite a while ago now, and then I just had to return it to the library before I could finish it. Hopefully I can get it from the library again. I really enjoy Sarah Addison Allen's writing, which is weird because if you know me, you know that I don't normally love like whimsical, magical realism type books, and that's what Sarah Addison Allen writes. But her writing is just so engaging and so easy to read, I guess. I love her books. I've enjoyed every single one that I've read. I think I've read at least 3 or 4 of them now, and I've enjoyed all of them. And she's an author that I picked up a book by her, having never heard of her, on a whim when I went to like an independent bookstore one day, and now I'm obsessed. I love her so much. So yes, that is what I will be reading for this prompt. All right, roll 13. Seriously? All right, a cake slice. A book over 500 pages. Okay, well, at least this works with Eldia. All right, so for this, I'm going to use a book that I've already started, but it is over 500 pages, so considering I am on roll, ooh, sorry, I'm shaking you. Considering I'm on roll 13, I'm just gonna be nice to myself. We're gonna put the Jasmine Throne. It has 533 pages. So I will be reading this for a book over 500 pages, which also fulfills the prompt for Adventures in Eldia. Yay! All right, we're on roll 14 and we're still 4 spots from the beginning, so this is not going well. 3. 1, 2, 3, another donut. An audiobook. Ooh, I love that. For this one, I got audiobook, and for this, I am going to continue The Courting of Bristol Keats. Yes, I do have the physical, but as I said at the beginning of this video, I was listening to this on audio, so it fits the prompt, it fits the goal of the video. Perfect. I love Mary E. Pearson's writing. So far, I'm enjoying this book. I can see why people wouldn't like it so much, but I love Mary E. Pearson's writing, so it's working for me so far. Hopefully it will continue to work for me. Roll 15. Oh, I tried to go off the board. Yes! Okay, that's great. A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A cupcake. Goodreads Awards winner, any year, any category. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research. Okay, that took a while, but I have Happy Place by Emily Henry. It was the romance winner in 2023 for the Goodreads Choice Awards. I know people feel a certain type of way about the Goodreads Choice Awards, especially recently, but I love Emily Henry. This is one of the few books that I have not read by her. That is not a great way to put it because I have read 50% of what she's put out at this point. But I am excited to read this. It's been on TBRs before. And I mean, I could be reading her new release, but why not read, you know, the one from a couple years ago first? Anything but a 4. Please. Okay, it's not super safe, but it is safe. 1, 2, 3, another donut. Come on. A paperback, easy. Okay, so this is the perfect place to slot in Dying of the Light by George R.R. Martin that I got for the TBR Wheel of Shame spin. I've been filming this video for so long, what are words? Okay, that is clearly a paperback book. It is perfect. It gets this on the TBR without adding it as just an extra book. Love it. Okay, come on, please be in my favor. I want to get past it. 5, nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close yet so far. Okay. It is Steal a Book. Okay. Okay, so that took me a couple minutes, but I found one that I am super excited to read. I am on the hold, like on the wait list from my library, so I don't know if I'll get it in time, but I stopped the screen on it, and it is Kara's Bookshelf, and it is Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariu. I want to read this book. I heard Becca in the Books talk about it, and she absolutely loved it. It sounds like exactly the type of book that I love. So yeah, that's what I'll be reading for this. Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariu. I am stealing it from Kara's Bookshelf. And thankfully, what has to be our final roll, just for funsies, look, 1. It gave me exactly what I needed. And our end spot is a free pick. I love that. Okay, so after 18 rolls, I have finally made it to the end, and it was very nice. It gave me a free pick, and for that, I am going to allow myself to fall deeper down the rabbit hole of the book series that I started in June. No, I started it in May. And I'm going to read Siege and Storm, which is the second book in the Grishaverse? Is that the name of the trilogy? Shadow and Bone trilogy. Whatever. I read Shadow and Bone in like 2 or 3 sittings in May. I was obsessed with this book, and I think it was part of the problem as to why I didn't read any of the other books that I had. Like, I started all of them looking for something that would be compelling like this was to me, and I just wasn't finding it. So I was making slow progress through a bunch of different books all month long, trying, like, chasing the high of this, which never works. All the while not allowing myself to pick this up because I knew that I had a ton of books. Well, not a ton of books, but I had long books that I was supposed to be reading for my TBR game. So we're putting this on the TBR so that I won't be like fighting myself saying, no, I shouldn't be reading this. I should be reading the like 14 other books on my TBR. We're just gonna add it onto the pile. So I am super excited about this. And this honestly will probably be the first thing that I pick up. Can I even pick up this stack? It is poorly balanced, I can tell you that much. There is a mass market paperback right in the middle. Cooper, you're gonna need to be careful. Oh, you're such a good boy. So looking at this stack, there are definitely books that I'm gonna be prioritizing and books that are gonna be put on the back burner. But let's just see if I can lift this and then go over everything. I'm gonna have to back up. Oh my gosh, okay. So this is my stack for the month of June. Is it even all in frame? I can't tell, but there it is in all its glory. And let's go over it really quickly. So because Cooper is like right to the side of me, I don't want a chance dropping all these books on him, so we're just gonna do this a different way this time. We have All the Water in the World for Outside of Comfort Zone. We have Valor for a TBR vet. We have 19 Minutes for a Burnt Batch. Return to the Beginning, pick from the jar type deal. We have Open and Shut for a higher or lower with a D20. We have Silver Elite for a new to me author. We had If You've Got It, Haunt It for a cozy mystery. I don't have that physically. We have In a Treacherous Court for a random number physical TBR. Old Man's War for a Burnt Batch spot again. 100 Book Bucket List Challenge, we had Dracula. Author Sarah, we have Garden Spells. A book over 500 pages, we have The Jasmine Throne. An audiobook, we have The Courting of Bristol Keats. A Goodreads Choice Award winner, we have Happy Place. And a paperback, we have Dying of the Light by George R. R. Martin. And Steal a Book, we have Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu, and I stole it from Kara's bookshelf. And finally, we got a free pick, and I picked Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. So this is our stack. All right, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's been a rough one and I'm tired. There is absolutely no way that I'm gonna read all of these books in the month of June, although I do have a little bit of a challenge that I wanna do for myself, not necessarily for a video, but I have found myself falling down the YouTube rabbit hole a lot lately. And so I was thinking of doing like a swapping YouTube time for reading challenge. Again, not necessarily for a video, but just for myself. Honestly, at this point, I might be a little bit embarrassed to tell you how much YouTube I've been watching. So it probably won't be a video unless you're interested in that type of thing. But hopefully that means that I will get through a lot more reading than I have been recently. Either way, let me know which of these books you would like me to prioritize, because there's no way. There's no way. Even with that kind of a challenge for myself, there's no way. But yeah, what am I most excited to read? Because there are actually a lot of good books on this list. Obviously this, because I said, like, I want to pick this up immediately. I've been enjoying this, so probably that. And honestly, I just kind of want to know what it's all about with all the stuff going on around this book. So I think these are my top 3, but let me know what you want to hear my thoughts on. I know I say that and I haven't posted a wrap-up, I think, since the beginning of the year. Well, honestly, since sometime last year, I haven't posted wrap-ups, but I am going to sit down and film one eventually. I haven't been reading a ton this year, so it shouldn't take long to, you know, film a wrap-up for the books that I've read since the beginning of the year. So it will be coming eventually. And then I'm going to try to stay better, like, on top of it. So definitely let me know which of these books, not just these 3, any of these books you would like to hear my thoughts on. And I am going to go try to make a little bit more progress on some of these books from this month before the month is over, so I don't have as much to read in June. So that is going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed my torture and my pain, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.